Hi, I'm Wayne Tuttle, and welcome to Chasing Legends of the Superstition Mountains. Hi, I'm Wayne Tuttle, and welcome back to Chasing Legends. While you're here, hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Hey, make a comment, like us, thumbs up, thumbs down. Don't really care, just as long as you're here, you're entertained or whatever, educated, whatever comes to be. Additionally, represent.com, our Legend, the Superstition Mountain shirts. We also have Dutch Hunter Rendezvous shirts, so it's very cool. Dutch Hunter Rendezvous coming up the 23rd, 24th, 25th of October. Don't forget Lust for Gold, coming out this October at the Arizona International Film Festival. So we'll kind of get all those plugs in there and go. This week I want to talk about a time and an incident I had up on what's called Charlebois Mountain. Nowadays I believe it is called Black Mountain. It's out by Peters Mason area. It's out by Charlebois. I just always remember it as Charlebois Mountain. I know it's on the maps now and everything, and some of those changes have happened. Coffee Flat is now Coffee Flat. Willow Canyon is now Peralta Canyon. And when I was young, a lot of the older names were still being used by a lot of guys and a lot of stuff concerning those. I think it was they were in the books and some of that. So it was, we weren't getting that modernization yet, even though the maps had changed. And then of course you've got particularly, let's always get confused, that there's Squaw Canyon and an old squaw and new squaw and different squaw and that squaw. So I'm out by Charlebois Mountain, which if you pull out your map, you'll look at it called Black Mountain. I hadn't spent a lot of time out there. This is probably going to be about 1980, 81. This is when I'm first spending a lot of time by myself in the mountains, going out for a couple days at a time. And what had occurred was I never got into the area too much. I'd spent some time with some people in Peters Canyon, up around Music Mountain, but a lot of people avoided the areas of Peters Mesa because of everything going up there. Robertson's and Jacob, Crazy Jake and his groups. There was a lot of activity in there and a lot happening that was kind of shady. We'll just put it at that. And so because of the coming goings and so forth, you always kind of avoid all that traffic and what was happening there. I remember it as being an area that there was just too much activity, a lot of trash being generated. I know they were coming in and out by different ways. I never decided I wanted any altercations, but at this point in time and place, I got back in there. I wanted to go up on Charlebois, Black Mountain, because I'd heard about some stuff out there. And this is also, I believe is the area Chuck Kenworthy's heart and a lot of his stuff and a lot of his investigation was. So there had been and was probably continuously some activity. There was a site I was told up there, and years later I think Jesse Feldman talked about a site up there too, and there was something I found up there during this trip. I went up and I wasn't sure what it was. I don't think it was a medicine wheel per se. It was an outline with some rocks, and I won't describe everything that was technically there because I don't want someone mimicking it or recreating something anywhere in the mountains and like, oh, look, it's here too. But it wasn't, I didn't think it was a medicine wheel, but it was a circular type of design. It was a very odd place, and I just happened to run across it. And I looked at it, and I didn't have any, and I know Jesse and I talked about it because he'd found something similar, and we talked about what we each found wasn't similar. They comparatively didn't seem to be the same thing. They weren't arastras, so anybody that's going, oh no, it was an arastra. No, it wasn't an arastra. And I wasn't sure the focus for what reason. Now I found smaller circles kind of similar to it, but this was kind of large size. It was probably 4 or 5 feet across, but it wasn't giant. And I kind of saw it, and I wasn't sure what to make of it and all. And I wasn't sure if it would have been indigenous or what type of time period. And I kind of observed what I could, looked around the area, didn't see anything else. There was any pottery shards, artifacts, anything I found. So I started to work my way down. So I'm working my way down, kind of going southeast, kind of coming down the mountain. The way I kind of worked my way up. And I got down probably easily over a third of the way down, and I heard something and crack onto the rocks. And then I heard a kind of like stopped and kind of got myself down a little. It's kind of like, man, what was that? I got to remember, I'm 16, 17. I've heard gunshots. I've heard blasting back in the mountains for years. And I was kind of, and there have been shootings around Weaver's Needle when we've been in Pinion Camp and other places, and in Needle Canyon. And I kind of got this weird feeling of like, man, what is this? What's going on? You know, maybe there's some hunters down. So I'm looking down, I'm not seeing anything, and I start to move. And as you're moving, when you're obviously going downhill, you're always kicking rocks, something's happening. So I made some more noise. And then the next one I could hear, probably, I don't know if it was right or left, but it's off to the side of me. And I could hear the bullet, and I could hear the ricochet. And then I hear the boom. And I'm like, man, there's not much of a, you know, I'm hearing the gunshot pretty close. What the hell? And I'm thinking, why, you know, I'm just, you know, of course, I'm thinking, I'm just some kid scrambling down the side of a mountain. Why is someone shooting at me? And so I kind of found some boulders, and I kind of sat down there. And that was when I just kind of got very quiet, very still, was listening, and I could hear voices, but they were far away. And you got to remember, you can be at the top of Bluff Springs and hear someone talking down in Needle Canyon. So you don't quite know the distance. You know there's someone in the area. I can hear voices. It sounds like it might be a couple people. And then I can smell the smell of cigarette. I'm smelling the cigarette, and I'm thinking, man, you know, what do you do? I don't, you know, there's no cell phones back then, you know. And you're like, now the very real aspect of things that happen in the mountains start to occur to you happen. You're thinking, well, man, this ain't good. You know, I don't want to be one of the guys I read about in the books. So it all is not fun anymore, and I'm thinking, well, I'm just going to stay here. And I heard one more gunshot, and it was down below where I was. I could tell it was down lower, and I realized they're shooting to try to make something move or something to happen. I finally worked up the nerve to get to a spot where I could kind of see through the rock, and I didn't think anybody would be able to see me, and I looked down and I watched, and I saw the movement. Well, there's a couple guys, and one of them must have had a rifle, and they're downhill from me, probably 150 yards or so. I'm thinking, man, you know, I can't be more than just a blur of something moving through the rocks. And I thought, well, what do I do? I got the high ground. I didn't have a rifle that day. So I'm thinking I can't return fire, and even if I did back then, in those days, I generally carried a .22. So nobody's going to warn off of that. So what I did was I kind of kept to that spot, and I tried to come up for hours. And I had water, I had something to eat, so, and I actually had some cigarettes. I was smoking by that point. So, you know, back then I could go hours and smoke a cigarette. So I was just sitting there and try not to move, and then kind of keep an eye, and I would see the motion, see that they were kind of sitting in a spot, kind of open enough where I could see them, which the shame is, and I don't think I had, at that point, I did not have the cojones that I would have shot right back at them at that point in life. I don't think I was scared enough. I was totally intimidated at that point of like, how do I get out of here, more than any self-preservation. So the thing I came up with is wait for it to get darker and not try to work my way down to them, but work my way up the mountain, up and over, and then try to work my way across once I got high enough where they really probably couldn't see me at a certain point or hear much of me, and then work my way around across and come down a different direction. And how do you get someone to focus and not kind of try to follow or look for you even though it's getting dark? So the sun went down, I built a small fire. And the area I was in was not much bigger than probably this area I'm sitting in. There's boulders here. And there was enough material to burn. And I found some stuff, bits of wood, and I was able to make something that would sustain a fire for a bit. And I figured as soon as it gets dark enough, if I see them light a fire, anything with them, I'm going to light this fire. And it won't backlight me, I'll be able to move off this way, but they'll see the flickering of the flames and they'll think someone's there. And that's what I did. I lit that little fire, got it to go, worked my way off to the side. As soon as it got about burning slightly decent, and I thought I got 10-15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes of this keeping enough light to keep them focused to see into this area looking for some movement, and I need to just scoot out of here, crawl, and get out across these rocks and start moving myself out. And once there's no visible light or anything, I need to be very, very quiet. So I moved as slow as possible. I didn't think about snakes, didn't think about scorpions, didn't think about anything. I was getting pricks and thorns and stuff and cat claw on me, but I just moved little bits and just tried to stay as close down on the rock as I could and move and quietly not rock anything, make any noise at all. I mean, everything I was making, which probably they couldn't hear, I was just like freezing, thinking, oh my God. So I worked my way through, got off to that edge and went down. Once I got about halfway down, hit the halfway point, I got the confidence, I thought I was far enough away. Just streamed myself down there. I think I made Bull Pass in record time going up Bull Pass. I mean, nobody goes up Bull Pass that fast. I think that it was night and I was flying up Bull Pass. Nothing to report. I didn't know. I couldn't give them a description other than they were wearing kind of lighter colored shirts and I couldn't tell if they were wearing jeans and what kind of real hats they were wearing. They were at such a distance, I could just see it was two people's silhouettes. And I'm pretty sure they were shooting at me. Why were they shooting at me? Who knows? It could have been Crazy Jake's guys, even though at that point I think they were starting to filter out. Could have been they thought I was in an area of theirs. It could have been just randomly for no other reason than they thought, you know, hey, here's another treasure hunter. I don't think they had any clue that they had some 16, 17-year-old kid pinned and up in the mountains up there, scared to death, ready to pee himself. But that was the first time, now maybe not the first time we were shot at in a group or shot by and that, but as myself as a lone individual. And I will tell you, there is nothing kind of more worrisome or scary when you're out there and you just don't know why. You just think someone's trying to shoot you and you're not quite sure and you don't want to draw attention, say something, hey, it's just me, I'm by myself, what you guys need? So there's that story for this week. Thank you for watching Chasing Legends, keeping it tight, keeping it square. Thank you for all the views. Thank you for your viewership. Represent.com. Pick up the shirts. Buy into us. You know, we don't make a thing off of this stuff. Rendezvous coming up in October and Lust for Gold early October, okay? Thank you for watching. Enjoy, take care, and have a good week.